Hey guys, welcome back. I know, it's been quite a while. To be frank with you, I really honestly do not even remember the last time I uploaded a video. And I didn't check before this video only because I'd probably get really depressed about it. Anyhow, today is Sunday, August 12th, and I wanted to go ahead and bring you guys up to speed. I know I haven't been on in a while. I want to let you know I'm still around, still living, still kicking, breathing, all that stuff. So, in short, what's been going on? So, a couple things been going on. First of all, I ended up taking a break from running only because of, you guessed it, injury. That's right. Apparently, the mileage approach, perhaps, that I was attempting, well, not so much the weekly mileage, but the per run mileage. My body really wasn't liking too favorably of that. And a couple things were really kind of going on. First of all, do you remember when I started to come back to running, I talked about some tightness in my left Achilles heel, in that area, and then of course in my right foot I was complaining about like tightness in the arch that kind of worked itself out after the first mile. Do you guys remember that? Well, it turns out, yes, the Achilles heel tightness thing, it was basically just left over some pains from my last year's injury. That just the way I kind of came back into it. Not warming it up, not stretching it per se, definitely kind of added to things. And then of course on my right foot, it turns out that another injury, which my little brother, who's a doctor, coins the phrase the reoccurring injury. In other words, I didn't let it fully heal the first time, and so getting back into running, it certainly didn't help things out. So those things compounded over weeks and weeks of long run only definitely helped contribute to things, and so I'm taking some good interest from that. You know, sometimes it kind of felt like I had a stress fracture in my foot, but I'm not paying for an MRI to confirm that. But needless to say, my body just spoke to me. And one morning I get out there and get the headphones on, everything's ready to go, and my body's like, just don't feel like running today. Just don't want to do it. And as you know, as runners, we love the sport. We have a true passion for the sport. So not running is very unusual for us. And so by that time, I finally listened to my body, and I'm like, all right, body, you win. Do your thing. And just kind of let it do its thing. So it took a lot of time to get over that. And so that's kind of what's been going on. Of course, because of the untimely occurrence of this totally killed my window of opportunity for Chicago. So that's out of the picture. And I do, in hindsight, come to question whether or not these injuries may have been prolonged, or not prolonged, but amplified by the choice of running shoes. Because, as you know, I was running a different model of Brooks. So all that said and done, took some time off. Been back in the gym, doing more than a 1 mile treadmill. When I do go, but most importantly, just getting back to weight training to work on strengthening and conditioning, and the kind of strengthening and conditioning you don't get from the track. The kind of strengthening and the conditioning that really helps to favor your running progress and things like that. Just regular gym workout. So I've been doing a lot of that, and I really believe that's going to help. So before we go into what's next, let's go into a little bit more about underpronation and overpronation. And during my quest of learning and education and recovery, I came across this. This is a website I'm posting on I'm going to go post this in the description section. This is from Runner's World magazine, or Runner's World website. It talks about pronation, explain underpronation, overpronation. Now, the very interesting thing about this is, after I show you this video, we're going to go in the kitchen where I have the running shoes I still have. Most of them are retired, but it allows me through a series of shoes to assess a wear pattern. whether or not you know, any malformities in my running were from the last pair of running shoes, or if there was a history, a pattern of this. So with that said, I kind of made this discovery, and I caught this video, caught this website, and started watching. So let's take a look at how this plays out. Let's back this up. Okay, this is their idea of normal formation. Watch. Well, obviously there's no video, but notice how the foot lands, the foot strike, how it rolls out, and everything's good. So let's note that. Of course, they demonstrate this. I don't think these guys have sound. No. Oh yeah, hang on, they do. Okay, wait.
Slow it down.
Okay, here we go.
You can see that when she reaches the end of her stride, her forefoot is angled away from her body just slightly.
All right. Okay. Well, you know what? I won't play the whole thing, but the point is, the point is here. Normal pronation. Notice the wear patterns. The focus of this, of sharing these videos, is the wear pattern. So we got the wear pattern here. Okay. Now we're going to go down to overpronation, and we're going to pay attention. We're going to pay attention to how this plays out. Okay, notice the wear pattern. The wear pattern is on the inside of the foot. Notice this. And again, I'm going to put the video link in the description box below, comment box, description section of the video, so you can sit there and watch it with its audio intact. Again, I'm trying to just share this to bring a point here. Okay, so now interesting here. It talks about more typical with runners with low arches. I admit to having low arches. Notice again the wear pattern. This is going to be on the inside of the toe box area, and of course, and then notice, and then here. Notice on the for overpronation. All right, so we've got that. All right, then then we talk about underpronation.
Only Jelly Belly can pack carbs, electrolytes, and vitamins.
Oh, nothing like being stuck with a little video, so we're going to come back here while you guys don't have to worry about watching that little media advertising clip. And so now we're going to come in here and take a look. This is underpronation. Does not roll inward after the out, okay? Again, notice the wear. Everything is on the outside. Everything is on the outside. All right? And so we picked up the video. We'll pick up the video here. It's more typical runners with high arches. And notice the overpronation. Underpronation. Underpronation is again on the outer side of the shoe. Everything is on the outer side of the shoe, with the inside of the shoe having little or no wear patterns. Okay, because we agree that. All right. So this would be the inside of our feet. Little or no wear patterns. Very interesting point there. Little to no wear patterns on the inside, but yet this is underpronation. And let's go back here for a moment to, here we go, to overpronation. Notice overpronation, notice this. There's a lot of wear patterns on the outside in the heel. Oh, dang it, didn't realize I was running. There's a lot of wear patterns on the outside and the heel area, but there's a lot of wear patterns on the inside, the toe box area. The outside here, not so much. So we have that versus this. Okay? So a lot of wear on the outside. Oh, it's running again. So with that, and I know this might be kind of hard to follow, and maybe it's because it makes sense to me because I spent a lot of time studying this. Let's go in the kitchen and take a look at how my shoes compare. Welcome to my kitchen, and so real quick, these are my current running shoes, and we can see because I have the foot pod on them. See the foot pod? This is Garmin's little foot pod. This is the one that allows me to sit there and show you on their their graphs per se, exactly what my average stride is, you know, per minute. This is what determines that. This little device also determines my stride length. So without this device, this watch would not be able to determine that. Okay, so this is kind of neat. So we got that. Then we have 3 other pairs of shoes that are in relatively decent condition. These are, of course, all retired, so I'm using these just recreationally. I just wear them as is. Now, in order to show you the bottom of these, we're going to go ahead and just kind of do this in handheld cam so you can get a closer look. Alright, so now we got handheld cam. So, here we go. My current running shoes, again, the foot pod up close. This is the little foot pod, Garmin foot pod. So it allows me to go ahead and figure out my strides per minute, my stride length. Now notice when we turn this over, when we turn these over, notice wear pattern on the outside. Wear pattern on the outside. Not so much on the inside, but definitely on the outside. Very visible. Okay. If you can't tell, look at it this way. Okay. Notice the wear pattern. See that? Very interesting wear pattern. Also, when we look at these shoes, outside the tip being a little bit worn down, notice the condition. Notice the condition of the insides here. All right. Then we kind of roll in here. We roll in here, and this is kind of intact. Same thing on this foot. Well, I know these colors are kind of hard to really grasp, so let's go and take a look at another pair. This pattern is pretty consistent with all these other shoes. So notice here, serious wear on the routes outside. And when we look at these, notice the lines. Notice the lines on the inside of the foot. If I could hang out here. If I could do this, notice the lines here. Notice how these are still very defined. I don't know if we can see that. These are very defined, whereas the line patterns on the outside, they're not as defined like the inside are. Almost like they're not touched. And notice the center here is pretty worn down. Center and the tip is pretty worn down. And so again, same thing here. We have the lines, which would be on the inside of my foot. The lines are present, but on the outside, not so much. And again, center is very worn. Very interesting there. And so, in brief, we'll look at just a couple more pairs. Again, corner edges, and we look at it this way, you can see corner edge very seriously worn. All right, and again, notice the lines we notice on the inside of the foot. You know, the inside of the shoe, and the outside nicely worn, with the tips nicely worn as well. And last but not least, these pair. I'm sorry, I don't remember the age of which ones are which. I believe these are definitely older, as far as how long ago. Notice the edges still being worn, but not as much to where we get to the discoloration of the tread on the inside. And now here we notice some. You can see some of the lines. Some of the lines are easily identified, but mostly again on the outside, pretty much gone, and then the tips pretty much gone. So now let's go back to our video. Alright, so now we're back here. Now remember the shoe pattern. Let's remember the shoe pattern. Okay, let's go back here, back to our video. Oh, dang it. Nothing like clicking on this and it always starts up. Alright, so we agreed this would be the outside of the shoes. Definitely had some serious wear here. And notice, remember how actually, all right, no. Now notice, interesting on my foot mechanics, because remember, all right, notice the outside was worn, but the inside was pretty much intact. So it almost suggests I have an underpronation issue, because when we go back here for overpronation, overpronation would be supported by, again, that's fine, having the outside wear, but the inside would be seriously worn down. And the insides of my shoes, as you remember, are more defined, more intact. So makes for a very interesting point there. And so what I've chosen to do is I went ahead and got some new shoes. So this I got last week, and these are my new shoes. Another Brooks. I found these. These are the brand new, well, brand new because they're new to me. The Brooks Rebel. These are actually neutral. They're a neutral shoe. So I'm going to go ahead and for the first time in my running history, I'm going to go ahead and run in a neutral shoe. So these are really good. You can surf the internet for this. You're finding these about $79. Can't go wrong because they're certainly under $100. So this is what I'm going to go ahead and run with or start training with, and I'll definitely let you guys know how that goes. Now, so we got our pair of Brooks shoes. Looking forward to that. And what's next? Well, take a look. Well, before we take a look, clearly, if I want to do any sort of qualifying for anything big for next year, because clearly I had some plans, come to find out that in order to do a time qualifying run for New York next year, I must have that qualifying run done by the end of this calendar year. And fortunately for me, they allow qualifying times for the half and the full marathon. So my plan is to run a half marathon. And so I went ahead and took a look at what's the latest possible USA track and field qualified half marathon I could possibly run here in the Valley before the end of the year. So take a look. I found this one here, and we're looking at, let's see, oh, where's it? Here you go. The Runner's Den Scottsdale Half Marathon. Okay, and this is on December 9th. This is indeed a USA Track and Field certified course. So that's the plan. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and time trial for that. So you ask yourself, well, what do I need to time trial for that? According to the New York City Marathon, I definitely need to run a half marathon at about 6.5 minutes. 6.5 minute pace, definitely going to take care of the job. So that's the plan. Would I like to do a full marathon maybe in the spring for a Boston qualifier? Yeah, but at the same time, I haven't checked my numbers on this one yet. Haven't checked, but I believe if I time qualify for New York with a half, I could still use that half to time qualify for Boston, but I haven't checked. So I suppose I probably should do that. Anyhow, if I manage to pull off this half marathon, this will definitely get me preconditioned to run a full marathon, perhaps in the spring. And so, what options do we have for that? Well, as you guys, for those of you who remember, I started out running the Rock and Roll Marathon. It used to be the P.F. Chang's Rock and Roll Marathon here in Phoenix, but P.F. Chang stopped sponsoring the event, which is called now the Rock and Roll Marathon. That's fine. Well, as you guys remember me talking about in one of my prior videos, those guys have just gotten like crazy expensive. However, they're figuring it out. They're totally figuring it out. They're getting in the game. They're getting in the game with the price check because they're not the big boys on campus anymore. So take a look. So here we go. As the next P.F. Chang's Rock and Roll Marathon, P.F. Chang's, well, not the Rock and Roll Marathon, still called P.F. Chang's. Okay, this is going to be Sunday, January 20th. As of now, the race is only $89. Future price increases to be determined, which means if enough people don't sign up, they're probably not going to raise the rate, simply because they need to fill their event. You know, they'd rather fill their event with a bunch of $90 people than some $120 people. They just need to fill the event. So that's kind of good there. Now, my other favorite race, and you guys know I definitely PR'd at this one, which used to be called the Phoenix Marathon. Even though it was only ran in Mesa, it's now the Sprouts Mesa Phoenix Marathon. And this is still a goal of mine. This one here is going to be, hang on, I'll pull up the date here. Oh, here we go, February 9th. February 9th compared to January 20th. That definitely buys me a couple of weeks. Now these folks, they know they got their stuff together, so they're charging you $95 as of now. Either way, not too bad. Am I signing up for either one of those events right now? No. We'll definitely see how December goes. Yeah, I'm going to end up paying for it, as far as late entry, but I'd rather pay more for a late entry than pay a little for a race I don't run. So that's kind of how that goes. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Just double checking my my TV to make sure I've kind of covered all my points. Oh, real quick. As you guys know, back in January when I really tanked on my VO2 max because it took a couple months off, apparently the 1 mile treadmill runs don't quite count because, oh, here we go, so you figure May, holy cow, May, June, July, August, 3 months. Okay, that's fine, whatever it takes to heal the body. I'm tired of being hurt. I'm really tired of being hurt. So even though in May I finished out my VO2 of 52, peaked to 53, that's fine. When I get outside, because apparently treadmill runs don't count towards VO2, at least according to them, either that or I'm just not running the treadmill long enough. Either way, so when we pick this up, I start getting outside again come August, then we'll see how badly I tanked it this time. Even though I've been doing treadmill runs and things like that, the Garmin may not acknowledge as far as VO2, we'll see exactly how bad things did tank. So, that's kind of everything in a nutshell. I have no idea how long this video's been, but we'll definitely, once I edit it, try to keep it down as short as possible for you folks. So that's the scoop on underpronation, overpronation. Kind of interesting, especially since I've been running in the Brooks GTS series. GTS 16, 15, 16, 17, whatever, I don't remember what number I started out with, but it's always been the Brooks GTS series. I've always ran in those shoes because of what a road runner sport. They have a website. They have 2 locations here in Phoenix. They put me on the treadmill, kind of like we saw in Runner's World video, and their person assessed that I had an overpronation issue. Well, as we could see from the wear pattern in the shoes, kind of questionable. So, according to what I read, if you have, obviously having underpronation, sometimes the best thing to do really would be to, run in a neutral shoe. So I'm going to go ahead and do this next training series in a neutral shoe. Real quick, as I call it quits on my current shoes, here you go. I've only put in 387 miles on my current shoes. I think we're going to go and call it quits. Yeah, this is my little crappy treadmill run. I don't count this too much only because the treadmill, when it says, oh, you completed a mile, and Garmin, because it's not pulling GPS from the satellite, is going based on my average stride length. And Garmin is determining that as my mile. So, kind of interesting there because it's only using my stride length as an indicator for mileage. Whereas outdoors, it's using GPS. It's using GPS strictly as an indicator, and then it determines my stride length just to measure the distance of it. But that's fine. It's still giving me at least some cardio conditioning. I'm not going to worry about it. These crazy heart rate 1 mile runs, I'm really not worrying about. It's nothing big deal. As we all know, distance runners, we all know, first mile really doesn't count anyways. It's only as you get going does it really make a difference. So anyhow, I'm going to wrap this things up for today. That's all I have for you guys today. If you liked today's video, please go ahead and hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And as I get back in the game, I'll definitely be posting videos more frequently once again, so I can bring you guys up to speed with my story. And as always, if you guys have any questions or comments, please post them below. All right, that's all I've got for you guys today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying tuned. Thanks for your support, and I'll see you next time. Until then, take care.